What is going on? Welcome in. This is a live recording of episode 103 of the Client by Client podcast. Big week. We just crossed 100 and we are rolling on with the momentum. Today we're talking about leveraging video marketing and video in your online business. Today over on the podcast, Apple Podcasts and Spotify, episode 94 just went live. How to create your MVP, your minimum viable program. Great if you feel like you're at a restart in your online business. Even better if you're at the beginning of your online coaching business. Be sure to go and get that. You can find it by going to pod.link/clients and accessing it in your podcast player of choice. Let's get today's episode going and hop right in. Just chugged a Prime energy drink, so excuse the burp. Hey, what's up? Jeremy from whatupjeremy.com back with another episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in. In the last episode, we talked about why you got to stop waiting for motivation and just get started. Think about it. Motivation is a fleeting feeling that doesn't come around every single day. That definitely doesn't come around every single moment that you're counting on it too. And while you might have bouts in your life where you're more motivated than others, real professionals, real professional coaches understand you got to have tools and systems for how to operate even when the motivation doesn't show up. And so in the last episode, I shared with you some tips for how to act and operate when the motivation isn't there and how to create a business that does not rely on this little fickle thing that we know as motivation. So be sure to backtrack one episode to understand everything about why you got to stop waiting for motivation and just get freaking started. In today's episode, I want to talk about leveraging video and video marketing in your online coaching business. Let's start by talking about what happens if you don't get this right. The first thing that happens is that you have to work harder than your competition for the same results. And that's frustrating because you could grow faster if you only took the right action and if you only knew how to leverage video properly in your online business. The second thing that happens is that you lose out on landing high quality clients who aren't impressed with the marketing that you have. It's just not what they are looking for because they want their business to look good. And when they look at yours, maybe they don't get that initial impression. And that's frustrating because if you can't play the quality game, that means you have to play the quantity game by default. And so that means that you have to serve the bottom part of the market. You have to start charging less and you wind up down this hill that continues going down in that downward spiral where you're competing on price and you're competing on features. That being said, let's talk about how to and what to do to leverage video marketing in your online business. First, and this is hopefully my intention for you to have the most massive mindset shift around the video marketing aspect in your online business and how to make this easier. Because the issue is that you could go about looking at your marketing as a whole separate department in your online business if you don't take heed to the words that we are about to, in this conversation that we're about to have together. I want for you to start looking at the client delivery aspect of your online business as your marketing. Better to take what's already being delivered to your clients and what's working well for your clients and the great feedback you're getting from your clients on certain things that you're delivering to them, to use that and lead with it to go and attract more warm leads. The other part of this is you can deliver with your clients and then you can stop doing that, hop off your one-on-one calls, hop on your group calls, and then you got to go about creating a bunch of videos and a bunch of other marketing assets outside of what you've already created that's already getting results for your clients. You might as well take what's working from your client delivery and lead with that as your marketing. So if you're doing one-on-one calls, group calls, if you're delivering group trainings, if you have a library of resources and PDF workbooks and downloads for your clients, I want for you to start looking at what you can do to repurpose that for every piece of the attraction side of your online business. That could be as easy as taking the last training that you did with your clients and offering it in your Facebook group or in an email to your list or on your social media and saying, hey, I just got done hosting a hour-long training, a 30-minute training, a 90-minute training, all about this topic with my private clients who would like a copy? And now you can have a conversation with anybody who's interested in it, and you can get them that resource. And then you can also ask them about where they're up to and what help they're looking for and if they're open to help. And now in the middle of all that, they're going to be going through that resource potentially. That conversation might just be enough for them to get in and for them to be warm enough to book a call with you. But if not, they might say, I'm kind of iffy on this person, on what this person's pitching me on what we're kind of having a conversation about here. And they go and watch that training, or they go through that workbook that you offered, that you took off the shelf, dusted off, and gave from your client program and your delivery to generate new leads. And they might just be impressed enough to say, wow, if this is what they're giving me for free, if this is what, and this is the other thought they're going to have on top of this, what they're giving me for free, this is better. If this is what they're doing with their clients, I wonder what else they have, because I'm already subconsciously impressed with this thing. And now they're going to be more likely to respond to you in the DM, to book the call when you position it, to show up for that call, to respect your time and show up on time, and to play full out during that call and be open to considering your offer and be open to some help with you. When you get each part of your pipeline right, from the lead magnet that you're leading with, that you're taking from your client delivery instead of making something new, one, you're going to save a ton of time. And two, you begin to optimize each step of offering the lead magnet, of the conversations you have back and forth with them, on the follow-up, if at all necessary, as well as how you position your call and how you open your call and deliver your strategy session. All of these things, when you get them right, are going to increase the odds that you get a client. It can take you 100 conversation starts or 30 leads to get a new client, or it can take you 10 conversation starts and 2 leads in order for you to get your new client. It just all comes down to the number game and your optimization of each step in your pipeline. And when you go to the beginning of the pipeline and say, how am I attracting leads in? What is my magnet? What is my carrot? And you use something that has proof that's working for your clients and that you're getting really good feedback from your clients, it's far more likely to work with prospects than for you to try to sit there and come up with something new, to come up with something fresh, and to think through what's going to get new leads in. So the big mindset shift I want you to have first off in this episode, first off from today, is look at your client delivery as your marketing and start repurposing what you're doing inside of there and use that to attract in your new leads. Thing number one, repurpose your client delivery. Specifically look at your client calls, your one-on-one and your group calls, but also look at your workbooks, your cheat sheets, your tools, calculators, and spreadsheets that you're making, and then repurpose those for your prospects. When you think about GetBook CRM that we talk about, which is not going to remain free for that much longer, that started out as a tool that I made for myself, and then I made it for my clients and got a bunch of feedback and taught them how to use it, and then I made it available for members in the Leverage Coach community and for my email list, for my email list subscribers. And with the board, with the CRM that I've created, I also created a video training that I delivered that I mastered doing it with my clients and answered questions and got new questions that I could answer and delivered it really well. And then I went and made an alternative version specifically for non-clients. And I've used that for the last 2 years to generate tons of leads. So you can just take what you have and repurpose it, or you can take what you have and make a different version of it and leverage what you already have, but still use your client delivery as that initial base for you to start from. Thing number two, you knew I was going to talk about it when it comes to video marketing, and that is using your story. On top of using the story on social media, on Instagram, on wherever stories are at, on top of using that to show up and turn on the open lights of your online business every single day and show that you're active and alive and breathing and showing proof and sharing other content that you've made, story is a great way to bring in new leads, to market yourself, to market your personality, and to market your online business, and to market the pains and problems and the solutions and the dreams, and to talk to those things every single day. So you can use this to offer a new thing. Like we said earlier, I just made this new training. I just created this new guide. Who would like this thing that I just did with my private clients? I want to give it to 10 people here today. Create some urgency. What you can also do is you can, and this is more of how I use story these days, which is I get on the story and I share proof and I share other content that I've posted to my Facebook and to my Instagram and to my Snapchat. Yes, I still use Snapchat. I love Snapchat. And then I also hop on and I record a fresh, for the story, minute-long video where I promote yesterday's episode of the podcast. Maybe you don't have a podcast, but you can market and promote your audience's pains and problems and what happens when they conquer them. And you can build that gap that we've talked about here over these last 100 episodes, 100 plus now, of the gap that's in between where your clients are at right now and where they want to be. You are the bridge to that gap. And the more you talk to where they're at right now and where they want to be, the more confident they're going to feel about crossing that gap, but the further they're going to feel away from it. And this creates something called tension. And when you pull a rubber band apart and you get to the point where there's the most tension, when you release it, that rubber band snaps together, and that's your prospect moving closer to you and asking for some help. And so when you do this in your marketing, you create this tension, and you do it in an ethical way by talking about the pains and problems and making sure they're aware of them, and then talking about what happens when they overcome them and what life looks like immediately. And in the long run, this creates a tension that gets them thinking, should I reach out for help? Can they help me? I want to hear about their program. I wonder what their offer is. And when they're having that kind of a conversation, you are pretty dang close to getting the sale. All you have to do is know how to optimize your conversation for getting them to consider booking a call with you, getting on that call, playing full out, and then you get your next client. Thing number 2 for leveraging video marketing in your online business is you got to be using the story. You got to be using vertical video. Moreover, this is a prominent and very important piece of video marketing today. And so you can be taking the things you're doing with your client delivery and also be chopping them up into micro content and into reels and into shorts and into TikToks that promote your business on a daily basis. And you can also make new stuff, totally cool, but better to use what you've already had and your best stuff, which should be what you're delivering with your paying clients, right? And taking that best stuff to use that to attract in new quality clients. Thing number 3, I would be heavily considering when we talk about proof of your online business and sharing proof and creating client testimonials and success stories. Whenever you have a client that has recently gotten a win, if they're sharing it on a group call, have them come up to the front of the Zoom room and share what they did and ask them questions, and then use those things to repurpose them into other video and written and audio content if you're doing that and playing that game, so that you can share out their results and success stories and lead with those things in your marketing. There is no better marketing than word of mouth. And the second piece to your clients going out and anyone who's following your advice and sharing it with a friend is you taking them and their results and them sharing it from their own mouth and using that in your emails, in your podcasts, in your webinars, in your Facebook group, and in your emails, and using that as much as you can. So the next time you get a win, be sure to go down deep with your clients. I spent an hour on a call today with Juan, who you guys have heard me talk about largely, and he was telling me about how he made $57K between the last week of July and the first week of August. We've been working together for just a year, and that's the results that he was able to get. Now, he is a very smart guy, didn't come to me fresh with no business acumen or any of those things. But a lot of those results have been from what we've talked about and the motivation and the confidence to go and build those things and to get those things going and to implement those things. And so I got on out of curiosity just to hear what it is he's been crushing about. Not only did that motivate me a whole ton, now with his permission, I can use that on my story, here on the podcast, in my emails, in my Facebook groups. And if anyone is interested in getting those results, they're going to be far more likely to either respond to that piece of content or to respond to and take action on the other pieces of content that I'm sharing. So it creates this little ecosystem where the client interviews and success stories and proof, it impacts everything else that you're doing in your online business, because people are always wondering, no matter how long they've been in your audience, can they really help me, or are they just full of crap? And the more that you're sharing real results from real paying clients, the faster they're going to move through your funnel, the faster and more likely they are going to be to respond to your marketing. And then when you're in a conversation with them, more likely to respond back to you and to be interested in booking a free call with you and chatting with you and playing full out during that call. And then being open to hearing about what it would be like to work with you. And where you're having that conversation just 1, 2, or 3 times a week, you have the recipe for getting 1 client a week, 3 to 5 clients minimum a month, and now you're at 15K. The next month you're starting out with 3, 4, 5K already on the books from recurring payments coming in, and now you're able to hit 20K, and the next month you could just start to snowball and you stack that recurring revenue and you hit the sweet spot as an online coach. In the next episode of Client by Client, we're going to talk about the 4 money buckets of the online coaching business and how to operate out of them so that you create more revenue in your online business every single month. Whenever you are ready, here are 3 ways I can help you grow your online business. First, download your free copy of GetBook CRM. Coaches, are you still managing your leads and pipeline from Instagram DM, Facebook Messenger, and your email inbox where you're losing leads in the cracks and you're leaving a lot of money on the table every single month? That's why I created GetBook CRM. What started out as a free way for me to manage my pipeline and turn prospects into clients has quickly become a favorite tool of my private students and many members in the Leverage Coach community. To get your free copy, all you have to do is find me over on Instagram and send me the letters CRM. Second, join my free group for online coaches. I've got hundreds of coaches from all over the world implementing my methods and strategies for starting and growing your online coaching business. Get access to them, access to me, and access to free resources I share every single week over in the group. For your free invite now, just find me on Instagram and send me the word group. Lastly, become my next success story. I'm getting a couple coaches together this month to implement my methods and frameworks for injecting a minimum of $15K worth of new clients into your online business or doubling your online client roster base over the next 30, 60, 90 days. But working with the right people is super important to me, so only respond to this if you are a relationship-focused coach who always puts the person ahead of the money. You've been coaching for at least 6 months to a year. You would like to get 3 to 5 clients organically from social media every month without wasting money and time on paid ads and complex automations. You have at least 300 friends on a social platform, email list, or group. You are willing to take bold action because you know that your success depends upon it. And last but most importantly, you can keep a secret. If that's you, I want you to grab your phone right now, tap that Instagram app icon, find me at What Up Jeremy, follow and binge on some content while you're there, check out the highlights and the success stories. And then when you're ready, I want for you to message me the words case study. When you do that, I'll ask you a couple questions about your online business and your vision for the next 12 months. And then I'll share with you what we have coming up this month, how we're already helping other students from all over the world to implement my methods and my frameworks to get clients every single week. And then we'll identify what part of the program will likely make the biggest impact in your online business the soonest. That way you know what to expect. For all the details now, just find me over on Instagram and send me the words case study. That's it for this episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you in the next one. Cheers. All right, team, we're on a roll. I hope you feel it. I hope you're crushing it in your business. It's Thursday, but there's still time. Go sell something. Get ready. It's follow-up Friday tomorrow. So cue your follow-ups up and be ready to receive some money. Be in the energy of already having it, and you shall too. All right, team, that's it for me. Peace out.